Let's continue our work on this spreadsheet and build out this percentage column, column P. So the first thing we know is we need to take the total number of points that this student has earned and divide it by the total number of possible points that the student could earn. And that will come up with their percentage of score. So where is that total number of points possible that they can earn? It should be probably sitting right here, but when I did my initial build out of my spreadsheet, I did not copy that formula from here to here. So I could just simply copy, but I want to be careful, and I'm going to show you what potentially could happen for you. So let's go and just build this formula out automatically. And I want to use this auto sum function that you've been playing around with. We're going to use the auto sum. Now the software is smart enough to try and anticipate where it expects you're going to be grabbing a sum of numbers from. So it sees some numbers above it in the cells above, so it assumes that's what you want to add up. You might be tempted to say, that's what I want. Yeah, of course, I just want to add up that column. And truth be told, if I had copied this cell to this location, I would have added the column above. But that's not really what it makes sense. That doesn't make sense at all. I want it to be based on the total number of points that a student can earn. So that's really the sum of these numbers instead. So you want to be very careful when you're using the auto sum function to make sure that you're looking at the range that the software is initially choosing to make sure that's what you really wanted and not to just blindly hit the enter key. So now that we fixed that, we have our total amount and we want to build out this percentage formula. So I could set up a formula that says 373, because that's what the student earned, divided by 390. That's how I calculate it on my calculator. So I could certainly do that here. And it's going to give me the number of 0.956411026. So, of course, that's a percentage number shown in its numerical equivalent. If I were to change the format to a percentage by using this keystroke up here, it's going to multiply that number by 100. Again, this is how percentages work, and it's going to put the percent symbol behind that. So let's change that real quick so you can see it. So there you go. That shows you the percentage. I'm going to undo both of those moves. So let's remember that number, 9564. And you're going to see how that really isn't the best way to do or utilize Excel. So instead, I want to really create a formula that utilizes the contents of the cell in the cells. And so if those contents change, the calculation will automatically update for me. So I'm going to take the contents of cell O5 and I'm going to divide by the contents in cell O25. Perfect. And hit enter. Lo and behold, I get the same answer. That's terrific. But what's the advantage of what I just did as opposed to typing it the way I typed it just before? I get the same answer. Well, what happens if I, as the instructor, said, oh, I miscoded that student's final exam. They really got a 147. My calculation will automatically update. If I had not used that formula and just typed in the values directly, it would not have updated for me. So you never want to put in a formula, or you never want to hard code numbers in a formula if the data is already existing somewhere on your spreadsheet. Use your cell references to help you with that. Okay, so let's fill out the rest of this column, and we're going to do the percentages. Oops, sorry. We're going to do the percentages. So I'm going to copy this formula down. And I'm going to encounter my first error, div 0. Yuck, not nice. Well, why did that happen? So if I look at this really quickly, that formula worked correctly. Let's look at the next one. What happened? Ooh, as I copied down my cells, both of my cell references updated by one row. So I copied from one row down all of my cell references updated by one row. So I went from 05 divided by 025 to 06 divided by 026. So again, this is in chapter 2. It talks about this absolute reference. So we know from chapter 2 to do absolute referencing, we always wanted to go to divide by 025. We don't want 025 to update in any of my formulas. I always want to take the cell that's right next to me and then always divide it by the contents in cell 025. So we want to fix this first formula. So I'm going to double click in there and I'm going to hit the F4 key when I'm close to my 025. The F4 key will put my dollar signs in, as you see here, and what that's going to do is lock it down that cell, and it won't update when I copy down into the remaining cell locations. So to say it a different way, we're going to take the cell 05, that's one next to where I am, divided by the dollar signs, which tell me that it's an absolute reference, divided by $0, $25, will absolutely always go to cell 025. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to again copy and drag all the way down through. And now let's take a look at each of those formulas. Look at that. The 025 didn't update, but the 06 did in this cell. Let's look at the next one down. And so on. So you can evaluate each one of these. Now let's go ahead and put that percent on before we move on to the next the next video. So we're going to put this percent formula or the percent format on. The other couple of things up here to note is it's not now 96. The number in the software is not 96. That's all I'm choosing to display. Right? I can add the decimal places so that I can see where those numbers are actually sitting there. They're really going out as far out as you can imagine, or as the system can calculate. So if you think about what you're really looking at, imagine a clock. You're looking at a clock, a digital clock. We know that time can go down to milliseconds and even further than that, but you would drive yourself crazy if you were looking at a clock that showed all of those levels of precision, or how deep it can show. The time hasn't changed, but what you're presenting to the user on that clock, you can present hours and minutes. You can put the time in as military time or 12-hour time, as most of us are used to. But the time itself hasn't changed, we can continually change the view or the format of that time to show. Just as in Excel, you can change the format to show less numbers of decimal places, even though the actual number is really sitting out at however many decimal places it can be calculated to. Okay, so that's the absolute and relative referencing part of this video. I would say that this is a pretty advanced topic and not really understood by quite a few people, so I hope that this helped you.